Well, hey guys, good morning. It is John C Morley here, sir, entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. So we've been having some, snafus with our new streaming platform. Some minor ones, a couple things like they don't let you save studios, and a couple little crazy things like audio settings can't be set as default. So when that happens, and we're used to doing things a certain way, well, let's just say things happen, like no audio and stuff like that. I mean, we've been doing this for a while, but when you switch studios, things can happen. So we are adapting to this. We've given them a lot of feedback about how to make it better. But as you guys know, we were with another platform and they crashed. Oh, they crashed our stream a couple times, and I said, we just cannot deal with that. All right, guys, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. So this is actually the August 31st show. So this is actually episode 2. We're on a really great master topic this week. We always have great master topics. The core that endures. And today's granular topic is a really good one. Solid roots beat fast growth. Series 4, show 36, episode. So if you are thirsty, feel free to go get yourself some fresh RO water or maybe some other beverage or perhaps a candy or maybe some fruit, whatever floats your boat, and hurry on back. Also, if you are new here, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you. If you are coming back to Inspirations for Your Life, whether it's the one or the 100th or the millionth time, I want to thank you for coming back. Really do appreciate those that find value in my content. And do check out believemeachieve.com, of course, for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Now, without any further ado, let's get on to the show, right? So welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Inspirations for Your Life. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, podcast coach, and a passionate lifelong learner. Over the years, I've discovered that true success isn't about how fast you grow, but how deeply you're rooted. So, growth without roots may look impressive to a lot of people for a moment, but it doesn't last. It's not sustainable. Today, I'm diving into, a powerful truth. Solid roots always beat fast growth. I know everyone will say, gee, I'd rather just be fast. But you see, when you're fast, you actually miss the boat. You miss learning lessons, and that is critical for success. So let's explore together how these lessons apply not only to business, leadership, and personal growth, but also to, the way we live, create, and leave our mark on this wonderful, amazing world. So I have 20 lessons for you guys today, 20 lessons. And I'm sure one of them, if not more, is bound to get you excited and get you to become an even better version of yourself. So let's dig in. So the first one is roots. Sustain without strong grounding. Growth collapses under pressure. I don't know if you know that, but growth does collapse under pressure. When it's sustainable and it has a strong root, it can withstand a lot more pressure, and it can hold up. And if something collapses and there's good roots, it can easily rebuild again. So no matter how tall the tree grows, its survival depends on the depth and the strength of its roots. Many of you guys may or may not know that I hike, and I lead hiking groups once or twice a week. And these are like, first we start with like a 45-minute warm-up hike, which is a beginner hike. And then we move on to a nature hike, which is more of an intermediate hike, which has some rock grappling. And on that hike, I always notice several trees, and the trees have roots that span sometimes 4, 8, 10, 12, or even 15 feet. So these are very deep-rooted trees. And in life and business, it's tempting to chase growth at all costs, but that's going to burn us. But if your foundation isn't strong, the weight of success will eventually cause collapse. That's the truth, guys. So real sustainability comes from taking the time to build roots that anchor you during uncertain times. I know that sounds hard, But when we have something that we can consider strong, then we can build upon it. Let's take a foundation of a house, right? Would we build a house down the shore without using pilings? No, because the spread footings or standard concrete would just wash away. But when we build upon something what we already know is strong and stable, we build upon that, it becomes stable as well. Just like with knowledge, if you're trying to learn something new, you always want to anchor it or build upon something you already know. Let me give you an example. Maybe you are trying to learn how to bake. Maybe you're a great chemist. So you can appreciate the fact of how important it is to measure chemicals, acids, bases, etc., and other elements on the periodic table. If you get them in the wrong order, well, that could be a problem. If you put too much or you forget something, that can also be a problem, like neutralize or over neutralize, or maybe the fact that you didn't neutralize at all can be a really major, major, major threat in the lab. So these are important things to consider. Speed deceives. Quick wins often mask shallow foundations. So fast growth can look exciting, but you know what? It's often just, well, a surface level. And I know that sounds hard to believe, but ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. Okay. A startup may skyrocket in visibility, but without a system, structure, or culture behind it, well, it's going to crash. And the same is true for our personal achievement. If we sprint ahead without grounding, we're setting ourselves up for burnout and disappointment. That's the truth, guys. A lot of people get angry why they're going a certain way, but it's because they haven't really built that strong foundation, right? You wouldn't build a house and then try to build upon that isn't stable, right? You just wouldn't build it if it's not a solid foundation. Now, depth builds strength. Lasting success grows downward before it is upward. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to realize, is that we have to grow down and root, and then we can grow upward, like a tree does. Putting roots deep into the earth, real growth starts unseen. This phase isn't flashy, but it's necessary. It's in the hidden work, the discipline, the learning, the setbacks, that your strength, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be, well, the key that builds. So depth is what allows height to last from the tree, and the depth allows us to have more strength in what we're doing and more stability. Number 4, guys, storms. So storms test. Only rooted structures withstand challenges. Everyone faces storms. Businesses face recession. Leaders face crises. Individuals face hardships, right? The difference between collapse and survival, well, it lies in the roots. So let's grow those roots slowly and really strong. Shallow success gets blown away easily, but rooted success bends, weathers, and survives to rise again through almost any storm. Number 5, patience pays. Slow development creates long-term endurance. Patience feels costly in a world that glorifies speed, but patience is an investment. Slow, steady progress compounds. And while fast growers may burn out, those who take their time endure for, well, much, much longer. Number 6, guys, flash fades. Hype can't outlast stability. Hype creates attention, but not loyalty. See, flash gets noticed, but it fades quickly. True stability, built on values, built to last, and on consistency, will always outlast temporary excitement that might seem to, let's say, grab our attention for the moment. It's going to quickly be fleeting, right? When we talk about fads, right? The latest toy, the latest fashions, those may not catch on. They may just be fads, okay? Number 7, foundation first. What is unseen holds up what's seen. We live in a world, guys, obsessed with the visible, but the unseen foundation, character, integrity, strategy holds everything up. Just like you don't see a skyscraper steel frame, do you? Yet it's what keeps it standing. Your unseen foundation is your greatest strength. I remember a building that unfortunately had to get let's say, taken down not too long ago. It was imploded, not to get into all the details of that. But because the structure was not built correctly from day one, you know what happened? It weakened. Then they hired a company to re-ironclad the building. Later on, a few years later, they thought it was done right, but then they learned it was not strong, unfortunately. And this caused a very, very big problem, with the building. And guess what? Eventually, the building had to come down because it was structurally unsound. If you do things right in the beginning and you have a solid foundation, it might seem like you're stepping backward, but actually you're going to have the support you need to grow when many other structures or, let's say, systems will fail. Shallow breaks. Without roots, growth crumbles at the very first obstacle, right? We talked about houses at the shore. If there's a huge storm, if you have not built for that storm, well, your house, your structure is going to be pretty much taken away or in the ocean or the bay. If growth is shallow, it doesn't take much for it to fall apart. Obstacles aren't the problem, guys. Lack of preparation is. So shallow growth looks good until, well, pressure comes. Then it suddenly collapses. And the thing is, it surprises most people that it collapses because they don't understand why something isn't strong until it comes down. Time tempers roots through seasons, not shortcuts, guys. Roots need time to, let's say, cement themselves into the ground or your opportunity or whatever it is. They're not instant. If you're looking for instant, well, that's not here. Success is never instant. Success is the same. Seasons of learning, setbacks, and progress all shape us. Shortcuts skip the process, but they also skip the strength. And I think when we try to skip the strength, it's like, oh my gosh, why isn't this so strong? Because we didn't read the directions all the way through. How many times have maybe you put together something, you're like, oh, I don't need to read the directions. I always read the directions because maybe there's something I didn't know about. And there's a certain way it has to be done because if it's not done that way, well, it might not withstand any weight. That's a big problem. Number 10, quiet progress. Roots expand in silence while the hype shouts loudly, while hype screams for attention. Real progress happens quietly. Roots expand underground, unseen, but they're essential, guys, for life and for many parts of success. I think that's an important thing to understand is that we have to realize that it takes time. The same is true in our lives. Our biggest growth often happens when no one is watching. All right. No one's watching. Nourishment matters, guys. Number 11, true growth feeds from rich, deep soil. Growth isn't just about time. It's also about what feeds it. Poor soil weakens roots, while rich soil makes them thrive, right? In life, what you feed yourself, knowledge, habits, values, determines how deeply you grow. We can't just have great nutrition in our bodies. We have to have a good mental diet of words, of content, because what we think about most is what we bring about. Earl Nightingale said this many years ago, and I remember reading or listening to one of his first audiobooks that I got when I was only in high school. Yeah, I was addicted to motivation before I even graduated high school. And I still remember what they did at Nightingale Cohen. I don't know if they still do this. They let you get a program for free. You had 30 days. And if you didn't like it, you didn't have to pay for it until 30 days. But if you liked it, then you paid for it. But if you didn't like it, you could just return it. You got something you liked. Number 12, guys, resilience grows deeper roots as they recover faster after setbacks. That's what I was saying before. if you have something strong and it gets knocked down, it's a lot easier to erect something that has a strong base, okay, than something that's very whimsical. Setbacks are inevitable, but those who have the deep roots will bounce back easily and a lot quicker than someone who has their whole foundation ripped up from under them. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding storms, it comes from having built the strength to withstand them and rise again. Now, folks, I get so many people that request to be on Inspirations for Your Life and my other show as well. I want to tell you this if you're watching this show, and hopefully you haven't just thumbed through the beginning and just through the end. I put this in the middle for a reason. Those of you that are choosing to apply to the show, you can actually go to go.onesub.com/IFYL show guest. Now, I put this in the middle of this stream for a reason because I want to make sure you're watching it. One of my requirements to even get pre-interviewed is to watch a show in its entirety. And then you'll put together a short bullet point list. Now, if you're a PR agency like we are as well, we don't deal direct with PR agencies. Your client is going to have to watch these videos and put this together. You can help him or her, but I get so many people just throwing us stuff in email. And so we don't respond to these automated systems, to be honest with you. Next year, we will have a completely automated AI process that will be vetting these people. I know a lot of people have their book, and I know they're anxious to get on our show. But here's the thing. We don't want numbers. We want high quality content. I get people, I send an email back, and I'm like, this is what you need to do. Welcome. You know what happens? They drop out because they're just looking to get on a show. If you're looking to do that, you're not getting on our show. You're going to get pre-vetted with us. We'll let you know at the end of that 30-minute pre-chat whether we want to move forward with you. And if we don't, we'll invite you to come back after 6 months. Because too many people just try to throw things. We're not looking for a numbers game, just being quite honest with that. Number 13, weight requires roots. The taller the vision, the deeper the foundation must be. Dream big, but root deeper. A great vision needs even greater foundation than a smaller one. Otherwise, the weight of that vision will just collapse under its own ambition, and nobody wants that. Number 14, guys, impatience weakens, so rushing creates fragility. When we rush growth, we miss the foundation. Fragility is the price of impatience. Taking shortcuts to appear successful doesn't build lasting strength. It builds breakable illusions. When you make chocolate, for example, and I temper chocolate from scratch, you can't rush the tempering process. If you do, then your chocolate's going to be terrible. It's not going to have the right shine. It's probably not going to be as hard as it should be. So you don't want to weaken things. A process is a perfect example of where people take shortcuts. Even trying to get on our show, they think that firing us off one email and saying, hey, I really loved your show about solid roots. It really resonated with me. And I think my author, blah, 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 is probably going to be a great guest. I appreciate that. But that is very, how can I say, cliche. And it's also not showing me you're genuine. It's just telling me you're trying to pitch. Unless you're linking to something specific with what our show is and what your guest is, that's what I'm looking for. And most people aren't going to take the time to do that. And if you're not going to get on our show. Legacy last, guys. Number 15. Rooted growth leaves impact beyond generations. True success doesn't just serve you, it lasts beyond you. Legacy is the result of rooted growth. What you build, ladies and gentlemen, endures when it's anchored in true core values, not just the ambition that you have. Ambitions are good, but we need to have core values, and we need to have that determination, that motivation, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, that discipline. Number 16, roots give direction. They sure do. Deep grounding keeps growth aligned, not scattered. Roots don't just hold, they direct, they guide growth upward in the right direction. In life, roots, values, principles, mission keep us aligned so growth doesn't scatter aimlessly, right? And waste its energy. Number 17, guys, endurance inspires what lasts, teaches, others the values of patience. And I think that's a big key. When people see something that has lasted decades, they're inspired. Endurance is one of the most powerful teachers because it shows that patience works. Your endurance gives others hope to build deeply too. So treasure it. Number 18, strength is invisible. The most important parts are often hidden, right? And I think that's an important thing, to realize is what's hidden from us. This happens in the software world, the hardware world, right? And so when this happens, it's done so that we can communicate or we can do what we need to do without having to know all the underworkings of how something is. The world, ladies and gentlemen, rewards visibility, but real strength is often hidden. Just like roots underground, strength doesn't need to be seen to be real. Hidden effort always supports visible success. What's hidden? Well, your integrity, for example, until someone knows it. Maybe glue, right? Glue when it dries, it's clear, it's invisible. We don't see it, but it's very strong. What else is invisible? Electricity seems invisible. I mean, kind of to us, right? But it's not. I mean, you can see electricity if you use certain devices, right? I think a lot of people just want to jump to the end, but they don't really want to learn in the process. All right, number 19, balance matters, folks. Wide roots equal stable growth. It's not just depth, it's breadth. Wide roots give stability. In life, that means diversifying skills, connections, and experiences. Balance makes growth unshakable. Like, what did we learn? We learned something very interesting with switching to this new platform. Gave them a lot of great ideas of what they could change. Hopefully, they'll implement them. One of them is they don't auto-save our audio devices. So what do we have to do? Sometimes in the heat of the moment to try to get the show out, it's like, oh, wait a minute. We never checked the audio. And because I've been going through a little bit of challenge between using one laptop, which is my old laptop, you guys probably don't know this, and my new laptop, which is the P1 Gen 7, it has been terrible. It has had latency so bad that it's been crashing my streams. It's been crashing any type of audio or video except for things offline. And that's terrible, guys. So we're waiting for Lenovo to give us an answer. I'll let you know what's happening on that. But that's why there's more challenges. But again, we still make the show work, right? Even with these challenges, I still make the show work. Number 20, lasting success is earned. Only rooted proves it's worth the time. So it's not bought, okay? It is earned. At the end of the day, the only success that counts is lasting success. And the only way to achieve that is through, you ready? Deep, patient, rooted growth. How do we get that? Motivation, discipline, determination, okay? Fast growth may look so exciting, but only rooted growth stands the test of time. And so, like we talked about that building, if they would have done the right thing at day one when they built it and not took shortcuts, well, that building would probably still be standing. Why did they take shortcuts? Because they wanted to make a quick buck. I was working with a client the other day, and a big provider, which we all know starts with a V, they don't always do the greatest job with their installations, including their Wi-Fi. They have a big name. They give you a few big boxes. It looks very impressive. But their service, well, it sucks. Plain English. I'm not going to give you the name of the company, but if I mention a V, you probably know who I'm talking about. And so, first of all, their one box loses sync with their other box, and they're pushing out multiple network names, not to do things technically here on the show because this isn't the technical show, but they have two networks going out and they're fighting for each other. And that's not what you want, guys. So when you do things the right way, not only do you have a great solid network, you build trust in the people you're doing work for because they know what you're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to personally thank you for joining me on today's episode of Inspirations for Your Life, Solid Roots, Series 4, Show 36. episode number 2, because solid roots will always beat fast growth. If you don't know who I am by now, allow me to reintroduce myself. I am John C Morley, serial entrepreneur, and a lot more. And my mission, guys, is to help you uncover the principles that build not just success, but lasting impact. I know a lot of us out there want to just rush to the finish line because we feel that that's going to put money in our pocket. But if we don't understand the real world problem and we understand why something is not working and we just try to band-aid it, right? Then we're really not solving anything. We're causing more frustration. We're wasting more time, more resources, and people do this in business every single day. And if any of you are watching and you're looking to pitch me a guest, again, please make sure that you have watched this show in its entirety or another show. And let me know, why is your guest a good fit? I started doing this in all the shows now because people are just pitching me, well, crap, for lack of a better term. And again, not to be discriminating, but I want high quality people. I think you know the kind of person I am, and that I don't just take people just because they have a book or just because they're doing something. I had one person that wanted me on a certain month. I tried, but I have a 6-month waiting list. And so there's a reason for that. And next year, it's going to get even tighter. You're going to have to prove that you have credibility in our system. And if you don't prove that, our system's not going to let you even go forward with the next steps. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been around for a while. We're going to be going into our 4th year. We'll be closing out 3 years of Inspirations for Your Life, as well as my other show. And I think that the content that I produce and I put out every single day is earth-shattering content that will, in fact, change your life here's the if, you make the choice, okay, and have the discipline to use these techniques and skills. Choose to implement them in your life and practice, practice, practice. Because practice doesn't make it better, right away. It gets you over time to start refining things. Doesn't make you perfect, does it? Just gets you better slowly over time. And then that builds a stronger foundation for which you can support yourself and others. Again, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Have yourself a great rest of the day. I'll be streaming the 3rd show later on today, Monday again. Sorry for some of the challenges with the new studio, but we're working through them. I appreciate your patience. Have yourself a wonderful Labor Day if you're watching it today on September 1st.